Hi, Dave here. We've got a working GoPro again. We had to get a replacement because the last one just stopped turning on. I'm in the garage and I'm just going to be making some progress on the bases for our stanchions. So our stanchions are this 32mm outside diameter carbon fibre tube, and we have these triangles of 20mm FR4 which will sit on the existing triangles on the deck that the original stanchion bases were bolted to. So what happens is we have a 26mm outside diameter tube. We're going to drill through the FR4, then mount the FR4 to the deck, drill through the deck, and this tube will go all the way through this FR4 and through the deck and be held in with thickened epoxy. So that is mounted permanently into the deck. We will put some holes through it here so that we can pour some thickened epoxy, fill this with thickened epoxy, and that will ooze through those holes, bind into the thickened epoxy inside the hull deck joint that this will go into. And so that then ends up sticking up about that far, and the actual stanchion will pop onto it like that, be through bolted. And then this tube, we're actually going to fill these with thickened epoxy so that we can create holes through them for the guardrails and smooth it all out nicely so the guardrail out of Dyneema doesn't get cut. Okay, so I've got my drill press set up. Let's take you over there. And I've used our little digital level to check the drill post in both directions, and I've made it so that this FR4 is not quite horizontal. I've lifted up this outside edge so that eventually the stanchion goes out very, very slightly, half a degree or so, just to give us a little bit more clearance as we walk along the side deck. So that's clamped in place. We get about 12mm of solid FR4 here, and then when this gets bonded to the deck with thickened epoxy, we will do a nice fairing all the way around. In fact, as well as drilling the hole, I'm going to round the corners and chamfer the edges with the router. Let's see if it's going to drill. This is a 27mm Forstner bit. As you can see, that's going in beautifully, but creating some chunky dust. So I'm just going to put the camera down and use the vacuum cleaner to catch that as it's drilling. But it's already gone in 2 or 3mm with very little pressure, so that's very nice. Okay, so there we have the hole. Let's just check the tube fits through it. Perfect. Just enough slop so that some thickened epoxy can fit around the tube. So by the time that's gone through this that's fastened to the deck and the whole of the deck, which is not cored at this point, so it's a solid fiberglass deck sitting on top of the shelf of the hull. I'm guessing it's about that thick below. This will then be able to take all the loads of somebody falling against the stanchion that rests on it, especially as this won't be an empty tube, it'll be filled with thickened epoxy, so shouldn't be able to crush it. Okay, that's 1 down, 11 to go.